Hey guys, now everybody's got this one game that basically whatever you try and how much time you put into it, you cannot beat. For me, this game is Shining in the Darkness, and I've played this game 3 times, pretty much to the same point, about 3/4 of the way through. The first time I played it, my Mega Drive cartridge battery backup died on me. The second time I played it, I got to just after where I got to on the Mega Drive game, and basically I lost the save data. Yeah, I lost the whole computer, to be honest. Now, I played this through on my PS3 again for the third time, and I've basically just run out of time. I've got so much to get through, and I've just picked up playing the guitar again, and yeah, I've just run out of time. So this time, I'm sorry guys, I did not complete this game, but I do know it well enough to give you a pretty good idea what I think about this game. Now, basically, it is a forgotten Mega Drive classic, this game. Probably because it got overshadowed by basically Shining in the Darkness. Shining in the Darkness got overshadowed by Shining Force, which is the second game in the series, which actually took more of a strategy approach to it. Now, basically the first game, Shining in the Darkness, was actually released in 1991. It was an impressive game for its time. It wasn't the first-person dungeon crawl type of game on the Mega Drive that I can remember. I think there was actually a Might and Magic, I think? Yeah, Might and Magic game that actually was released first, but that game was really for the hardcore geeks of the group. Now, you were battling 1,000 orcs, I remember, in one battle, and yeah, it was really hardcore. This game was a lot more accessible, and basically I think it was actually much better for it, because anybody could play it, and it was really, really great fun. But there is some quirks being old school. No auto map. Big thing that I didn't realise until I started playing games now how good a good auto map system is. Now, the second game in the series was Shining Force. Now, this game was a huge departure from the original first-person dungeon crawl type of setup. It was actually, believe it or not, more of a strategy game, and this is probably the most famous of the games. It actually was, I still think, one of the best. It was basically a top-down game that you played, and it was very, very pretty. And I still remember to this day, the first time I actually saw the fighting graphics, I actually thought the game had crashed because all of a sudden the screen just goes black, and you are basically seeing these huge characters pop up. And it was just mind-blowing for the time because I never thought the Mega Drive could do that, and it was just amazing. Now, the game itself was also pretty interesting because you had multiple characters that you could actually choose your team. And for a strategy game, the cast of characters was quite huge. I can't remember how many off the top of my head, but it was pretty cool. Now, it was basically the only bad thing I can say about Shining Force. Basically, the games got down to basically a game of rocks, paper, scissors, but that was pretty normal for that type of game in that time. There was a second game following up Shining Force, which was another strategy game. It's still a great game, and I still recommend if you have a chance to play it, definitely do. It is basically Shining the same game over again, just a little bit more polished, and yeah, definitely fun though. I enjoyed both of those Shining Force games. Now, the third game I can remember that came out on the Sega system was actually Shining Force CD, or I think it's called Shining CD in some places. Now, I never actually had a chance to play it. I don't think it ever came over to New Zealand, so yeah, I'm still looking for a copy of that, and hopefully I will be able to find one and program it through my emulators. Now, there's also games for the PlayStation and Saturn, and unfortunately I could go on all day about this series, but unfortunately I've never really played them, so I'll leave those ones to somebody else who probably knows a bit more. Now, we'll jump into some gameplay footage and I'll talk you through what I think of the game. Okay, so as I said before, Shining in the Darkness was the first game in this series, and it's probably the most forgotten, which is really annoying because I actually enjoy this game probably the most. Now, the story starts pretty standard with a lost princess, and honestly I was expecting a Zelda joke to be made somewhere in the game. Your character's been asked by the king to find her. You're given a small amount of gold to start your journey, and basically your father's a part of the group that actually went missing with her. So it's pretty much role-playing standard. After stocking up, your main baddie of the game is introduced, and you're given access to the labyrinth where basically the whole game is basically placed. Now, the game itself is probably best described as an old school dungeon crawler. It's pretty forgiving for the type of game it is. If you die, you're sent back to the church, you can start again, but you lose a good chunk of your money. And basically, you keep all your equipment and all your levels. So compared to like a rogue-like dungeon crawler where you die and you lose everything and you start from square one, this is not so bad. Now,
Also remember, this game was basically made by one guy on a shoestring budget. Pretty impressive when you look at the size of this game. It is absolutely huge. Now, not saying this game at all is easy, especially when you start. You can get wiped out by random battles, which got such a huge difficulty spike. It's really bad. Also, there is no auto map on this game, and believe me, you gotta break out the pen and graph paper on this one. I get lost in my own city, so believe me, these games should come with a compass, but unfortunately this one doesn't. But as you can see, on my setup, I basically run my computer and my PlayStation. And yes, and this came out before the internet, so you can't cheat on this game by downloading maps. If you need any help though about how to map out, go see your local D&D group. Well, I hear Vin Diesel is actually a D&D nut as well. Also, to get your supporting characters, it takes you a long time and you need to grind, because the first battle you have with the Chrysler cab, this can wipe you out. It's amazing. You're basically fighting by yourself for probably most of the first 2-3 hours. Now, after you get your party together, it does get better. You do have to do a bit of grinding to get the guys back up to speed, but once you get the party, it actually gets a bit easier. Now, the most famous part of this game was basically its graphics, which were pretty for its time. The only bad side was that enemies were not animated, but as I said, this thing was a very low budget production, so I can't really complain. I did have a good laugh though when you sell a weapon and the dwarf does a little funny thing. Sound was nice for Mega Drive standards, but the amount of time this game can take, it can get a little bit repetitive over the time.
So you can guess the game sounds pretty good. Now, it is basically forgotten. You're going to ask yourself why. To me, it does everything well, but it does nothing great. And this is, I think, the biggest falling down in this game. You know, you had other games on the Mega Drive that destroyed and did stereotypes like, say, Phantasy Star, or even on Nintendo like Zelda. You know, but this game did everything well, but did nothing new. And I think that's why it's mostly forgotten. Now, basically, it's very hard to get a copy of this game, even from collectors. They hold on to it tighter than Golem's ring. Now, there is ways of getting this game, and the most easiest legal one is actually getting a copy of this, the Mega Drive collection. You can get this on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. I picked mine up for about 10 Aussie dollars, which is about $9.50 US at the moment. And believe me, it's great value. You get an amazing amount of games, amazing amount of replayability, and you can't say that about some of these new games that are coming out. So honestly, it's not a game for everybody. You do have to have a lot of patience, but that's basically old school dungeon crawler games, full stop. If you do have the chance to play it, you're going to get one of the best first-person dungeon crawling games I've played for a long time, and I honestly loved every minute I played this game, other than the fact that I keep losing my save data for, which usually most of my own stupid reasons anyway. Now, make sure you get your map sorted out, because they're valuable for this game, but I give this game a really good high 8 out of 10. It's well worth the time and effort, and believe me, it's a really great game for it, and very pretty game too. So anyway guys, I'm hoping to get the next review up pretty quick. I've actually already written it, but I just haven't had a chance to actually record any of the footage yet. But yeah, any questions or any comments, post them up, and we'll talk to you later.